Hi, welcome to My Favorite Mistake. I'm Mark Graban. Today we're doing a bonus episode in our series where we're reconnecting with previous guests and learning what's new with them. So today we're joined by Terry Iverson. He was the guest in episode 74, June 2021. Terry, it's great to see you after 3 years.
Great to see you, Mark, and thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's good to have you come back. Tell everybody about your second book. Congratulations on that, and maybe remind people how that fits in and connects to the first book that you did.
Well, what I decided to do, the first book was called Finding America's Greatest Champion, and it's about manufacturing careers and changing the perceptions of the general public about, the enticement and the great opportunity manufacturing brings. But the second book is called Inspiring Champions in Advanced Manufacturing, and it's a two-sided book. It has two covers, Mark. One's for the parent.
Uh-huh.
Then when you flip it over 180 degrees, the other one's for the student.
Oh, that's
So,
clever.
thank you, thank you. So basically, the subtitle, I'm big on my subtitles because they really resonate about the book itself. Discover the path to a debt-free career.
Hmm.
And then the other thing is, there's questions in the middle, and as you would imagine, they're inverse to each other. And so it's meant for the student to read and flip it over to the parent, or vice versa. And then there's questions in the middle for each. And then there's also QR codes to go to a video about the subject matter where the QR codes are located. And so I've been very blessed to have some initial positive feedback about that.
Mhm.
And I just developed a camp for middle schoolers, a manufacturing inspiration camp is what I call it, to introduce manufacturing concepts to middle school young people.
Wow. So for people who aren't familiar, how would you describe advanced manufacturing? Is this about sort of the current latest technologies and what's kind of in the pipeline that's going to affect manufacturing in the next decades?
Well, advanced manufacturing can be many things, but what it is it's a methodology and a word to describe that yesterday's manufacturing is not today's manufacturing. And when someone like myself tries as diligently to change the perception, advanced means just that it's way more advanced than it used to be.
Mhm.
So you have automation coming on strong. We haven't really discovered what AI is going to do for manufacturing, but we sure will find out. But bottom line is, many things are computerized, many things are becoming automated and will become more automated. And so the skill level that you need rises in terms of the workforce. And as the skill level rises, the need to have some sort of a skilled workforce and also the pay that is required or should be required and available is higher than what would be a more basic opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, great compensation and being able to get there through, let's say, trade school without taking on a lot of college debt, right?
Yeah, one of the things, Mark, that I tried to really speak for is a couple things, but I tried to speak for that. One of the comments I made, General Motors, for many of their positions, eliminated the 4-year degree requirement. And so that's just one small bit of information that speaks volumes about what's happening in the market today. And, there's way more opportunities for skilled positions. And the days gone by of spending up to $100,000 a year, which is actually seems like that's not possible, but it is, unfortunately, to get a degree that you come out making $50,000 a year, you'll never catch up to the debt that you either spent or owe.
Right.
And so many of us manufacturers, Mark, I'm sure are willing to pay for our employees and pay for our workers for their education, even while they're working.
Hmm.
And but it's very specific education, and it's very relevant education to specifically what you need to do for your job.
Yeah. And tell us more about the camp and trying to inspire kids even when they're in middle school. How do you go
Well,
about that?
well, what this kind of ties a little bit to the book because we can expose kids to manufacturing concepts, and then they go home and mom and dad say, "Yeah, no." And so what I do is we have little CNC machines that are on tabletops, and they're on wheels on scissors lifts, so you can raise and lower them. And what we do is we make pens. We manufacture wooden pens on a CNC lathe and wooden cases on a CNC mill. And then we laser engrave the middle school person's name onto a plate. So when they leave this 90-minute not really class, but camp, they actually understand laser engraving, turning, milling, and assembly, inspection, and all these different concepts. And then maybe 20 to 30, maybe as many as 50% are jacked up about manufacturing is really cool. Well, unless they have a resource,
Yeah.
like something that they can take home, if an instructor says, "Well, you seem interested, do you want something to show your mom and dad?" Well, now we have a book that while everyone's excited and while everyone's inspired, now mom and dad can say, "All right, well, let me see, what this Iverson guy is saying about manufacturing. Let me see what he has to say." So what I put in, salaries from the Department of Labor, job projections that we have 500,000 to as many as 3 million vacancies going in the next 10 years. And basically, you know, have inspirational stories that they can read, but also facts about how much, someone can make, but most importantly, how much they can make versus the money expended on education. That's the key.
Yeah. And I mean, I started my career in manufacturing as a degreed engineer and, working for a couple different manufacturing companies that, you see and learn there are jobs that require a lot of skill, a lot of creativity, a lot of flexibility. This is not the job of, think of monotonous assembly work doing the same thing over and over all day long. That there's a great need for the manufacturing that's still here in the U.S. and other countries where people might be listening. So I'm excited that you're taking that on and that you're trying to open people's eyes to I think what would be some really current and future career paths.
Yeah, and I'm not, I don't want anyone to think that I'm anti-college. I'm not. We
Mhm.
need degreed
No,
engineers, Mark.
yeah.
But at the same time, not everyone learns the same.
Mhm.
I was an AP student and I had ADHD before they could spell
Right.
ADHD. And so I didn't learn the same way, and I got bored very quickly and very easily.
Mhm.
But it's all about each child. There's a path for each child, and it's
Mhm.
not all the same path.
Right.
You could have three children that literally could have three different paths.
Mhm.
And that's my message is
Yeah.
let's just be more deliberate and try to find the right path for every young person.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear or sense that you were knocking college, but I'm 100% in alignment that the same there are different paths for different people with different learning styles and different interests. For a lot of people, that path to education has gone through the military, and I'm not saying that that's a bad path, but that's not right for everybody. So I appreciate you highlighting the opportunities where people can start their career, have a paycheck coming in with the manufacturer and be furthering their education. And I think a lot of people might not know about that. They might think of manufacturing as something from the 20th century. So I appreciate you, Terry, highlighting that and opening people's eyes and giving them resources in the book. So again, that title is Inspiring Champions in Advanced Manufacturing. Terry, what's the best way for people to learn more about the book and the camps and more online?
Well, my organization's called Champion Now, so I have the word champ or champion in the books and the camp.
Mhm.
And championnow.org is my website, and you can reach me at terry@championnow.org. And I did sell my company within the last year, so I hope to devote more time to being an advocate around the country and be a resource for people. And many of our youth just don't know. They're not making a decision based on what they know. If they don't know, then they can't decide to pursue manufacturing as a career.
Yeah.
So I'm delighted to be with you again,
Mhm.
and I appreciate the opportunity for us to speak. And thank you so much, and I appreciate your support.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Terry. And again, if people want to hear the episode from 2021, it's episode 74. You can search your podcast feed, you can scroll down, or you can go to markgraban.com/mistake 74. Terry Iverson, thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Mark. It was great seeing you.
Thanks.